It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
The name of the song is Hurts So Good. The name of the singer is John Mellencamp. He long ago dropped the middle name Cougar that a manager once invented for him, but he's never lost his passion for music or the strength of his sometimes provocative convictions. Russ Mitchell offers this Sunday profile.
My great-great-grandfather, John Mellencamp, came here from Germany, and we've been here ever since.
Among rock's icons, perhaps no other musician is more closely identified with the heart of the Midwest than John Mellencamp.
I mean, it's pretty easy for me when I'm here.
Whose southern Indiana roots are famous. Where home today is just outside Bloomington, on a woodsy stretch of 56 acres. Where his barn serves as a kind of sanctuary.
That is Tony, who works for me. I try to make my paintings a little grotesque, but try to keep some sort of beauty in them.
It's Mellencamp's inner world, where he spends his days pursuing his longtime passions.
From a creative standpoint, how is it different than writing a song?
Same.
Same thing.
Same thing. I come up here with a vague notion of what I'm going to do. And then it goes its own way and takes you on this road of kind of like this mini discovery each time you do it.
I got stones in my pathway.
He's got 3 different rhythms going on. One guy. He's got his thumb doing one thing, he's got his fingers doing something else, and he's got his voice doing something else completely.
It was the process of discovery, says Mellencamp, that sent him back into the studio to explore the roots of American music, from folk to country, rock to the blues.
You know, when Robert Johnson wrote this song, he was a black man in the South in 1920, whatever, I don't know the right date, but you can imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
With a guitar, playing in juke joints. I mean, look how he died.
Yeah. What makes this resonate with a white guy in 2003?
The honesty of, the plain-spokenness of the presentation.
The result, Trouble No More, is a critical success.
Well, I've got stones in my pathway.
At 51, John Mellencamp himself is an American original and a survivor.
So many people come and go in your business. What has kept you around for 30 years?
Tenacity.
A lot of folks are tenacious. What makes you different? Anything about you think it makes you different
I don't
from
think a
others?
lot of folks are tenacious. I think most people quit too early. I am, what's the Greek guy that is always pushing the rock up the hill? I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the guy who's always rolling the rock up the hill. And that's how I've always been.
But along that Sisyphean climb, John Mellencamp has done all right, capturing a kind of American landscape as he sees it.
Well, there's a black man with a black cat, living on blind neighborhood.
For a guy with marginal talent, marginal singing abilities, it's been great to me.
You seriously consider your talents marginal?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, I was born in a small town, and I live in a small town.
To hear the song is to know John Mellencamp's story. He was born in Seymour, Indiana. Music was an early draw. By 13, he was skipping church for rock and roll. By 14, playing before college crowds. Absent among the fans was his father, who didn't like his son's rebellious ways.
We punched it out a couple. I hadn't fought many good rounds with the old man.
You and your dad?
Oh, yeah.
Fought, punched, physically?
Oh, yeah, we had a couple good rounds. He always won, though. But I used to tell him, I said, one of these days you're going to get it. And he'd always look at me and he'd always say, "You'll never see the day."
What was the turning point for you and your dad?
And one day he just called me up and he said, can you come over and have lunch with me? And I said, yeah, sure. And I went over and he just said, hey, look, let's cut this out. You know, you're a man, I'm a man. Let's forget about all the problems that we used to have. Let's just start over. And I said, all right. And we've been best friends ever since.
But John Mellencamp is still a fighter. He rails against what he sees as corporate greed and rarely shrinks from speaking his mind. He's among a handful of rock elders who still refuse to license music for commercials.
How much would you say you've been offered for some of your songs and you said no, forget about it?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Enough that if I told you, people watching this show would go, you are a bigger idiot than we thought.
And then there's Farm Aid, an organization Mellencamp helped establish almost 20 years ago to aid the disappearing family farmer. At this year's concert, Mellencamp mixed his performance with politics.
Tonight, as we celebrate the farmers of America, the President of the United States has gone on television.
Mellencamp raised questions about President Bush's request for emergency money for Iraq.
Think what we could do with education, with the farm problem, health care.
While some cheered,
this is our country, and I think we need to try to figure out a way to take it back.
Other fans booed. But not loud enough to stop him from performing a song critical of the Bush administration called To Washington.
So a new man in the White House with a familiar name.
It's featured on his latest album.
Were you surprised at the response you got, the criticism you got for To Washington?
You know, for me, it was like, wait a minute. This isn't my third album, you know, and I don't care what you say.
Mellencamp has said that men aren't worth much until they reach 40, which was around his age when he first met her. Model Elaine Irwin, his wife of 11 years.
We were a very good counterbalance to one another. And then I think it always helps, you know, having the input of someone, especially if their point of view is quite different, is always good to come up with.
It helps, and it really helps when they don't mind giving their input.
Well,
She don't mind putting her 2 cents.
I thought it was my fault.
I will be on stage with 50 people standing around, and something will happen, and all of a sudden, here she comes. Okay, dear. Yes, dear.
Together, they share 2 young boys, Hud and Speck. He has 3 daughters from 2 previous marriages.
You're trying to do a D.
As Mellencamp looks to the future, a brush with mortality shades his past.
You suffered a mild heart attack a few years ago. How old were you?
42.
42 years old.
Yeah.
Do you think life was over then?
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, boy howdy.
You better believe that.
Boy howdy.
And while he did change some habits,
I exercise now, I lift weights, I still smoke, obviously, but I don't smoke like I did. That's still not good, that's no excuse. Smoking is bad, bad, bad. No one should smoke a cigarette. And if anybody can figure out a way I can get even with somebody about these things, call me.
all told, Mellencamp has sold more than 30 million records, walked away with 12 multi-platinum albums, and won a Grammy among 18 nominations. And he's not done yet.
Is there a quintessential John Mellencamp song?
I haven't written that song yet. I'm still trying to write that song. You know, I still haven't made the album that I think is the quintessential John Mellencamp record. Still struggling. Because don't forget, I'm the guy who pushes the ball up the hill.